Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Punt Situation with Polk and Scott. How's it going, Scott?
I'm doing good, Pope, man. Ready for that football season to start next week, man.
Yeah, it's just right around the corner, man. Exciting. No more preseason, but we got some great news. We got some roster cuts to be excited about. So
Yeah, yeah. Everybody went down to their 53-man team today. There's some interesting cuts today we're going to talk about. If you guys already drafted and you might have a couple of these people on there, you might want to start looking at your free agents and start picking up somebody else. They're pretty interesting cuts today. I was surprised on two of them there.
yeah, we'll probably talk about some really notable ones. Just a couple guys we were surprised about. Probably see around on another team. Now this is for the most part, this is football, right? We love talking about football, geared towards fantasy football for the most part, but these are guys you probably you probably won't want to pick up, even if they find a new team. But it'll be fun to talk about them. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this or that. And basically, what we're going to do is me and Scott are going to give a rundown of guys that are really close in that ADP, where usually you have a choice between these two guys. They're just neck and neck, right back to back. And it's usually a coin flip between the two. We're going to talk about who we like, which one we would prefer to take. And much, much more. So I'm excited to get into it. Scott, you excited?
I'm excited, man. This is the fun time right here. I know a lot of people are still going to do fantasy drafts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we want to give you the best information as possible, and this is going to be fun. So I'm really
Right
excited
on.
about this segment here.
Yeah. And right now, everybody's undefeated, right? This will
Right,
be
everybody's undefeated. Yeah, everybody has a
this will be
chance
the
to
last
go
week.
to the Super Bowl.
That's
Yeah,
right. Last week, everybody's undefeated. So, next week, about 50% of the people in the leagues are going to take that L.
yep,
Scott,
absolutely.
you're not playing. You're not playing me in any of the leagues first week, right?
No, 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 I'm not
Okay.
playing you.
So you got pretty lucky on that one.
Yeah, I did. I mean, normally we start off in week one, so it's pretty interesting that I didn't get you. Yeah, so Polk and I normally we do two leagues together, but this year somebody had to step out and one of my leagues there, and he came in, and now it's me, Polk, and a friend of ours, Joe. Um, we're all three in the league together, and it was funny. Like the past couple of times, we were like, "Damn, man!" Like now we know each other's strategies a little bit, and I was like, "That kind of sucks," but it's also interesting at the same time. So it was pretty cool doing that with you guys. So,
Well, and that's what makes it fun is just to see, when I mean, me and Scott talk about a lot of football. We tend to like some of the same players, some of the same things, and so it's nice to see like Joe being in three leagues and seeing how he adapts. Because it's
mhm.
crazy how it all fell. We usually kind of picked right around each other before each other in some leagues, after each other in some leagues. So it was neat to see the scramble of players and just how it all fell. I think we'll do a bonus episode. About our league, just kind of go over the draft just for the guys. But hey, if you want to listen to that, if that intrigues you, how we drafted and stuff, awesome. So that should probably come out later this week. We'll probably do that. What maybe give that a Thursday episode or something.
Yeah,
We're gonna try to
Thursday.
get out.
Yeah, we're trying to
Yeah,
get
we're
at
gonna.
least a couple more out before football starts. Especially, starting next week, we're gonna, do a Wednesday, possibly Tuesday or Wednesday before the league starts on Thursday, or excuse me, for NFL starts on Thursday. And then Paul and I will come on possibly on Saturdays, maybe talk about a little college football there. And then on Sunday mornings from 9 until about, you know, until the game starts. Unless we have one of those games that comes in at 9 o'clock in the morning, you may see Polk and I real early in the morning um, to start your Sundays. So
I'm super excited. I love those London games. I know some people have a hard time with them, but I can just get up. I can get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I can make me my coffee or have my energy drink and sit there and then just enjoy football. My house is still quiet. All the kids are still asleep. They don't start waking up till about 9 or 10. So it's just me and football. And it's great. I've really enjoyed those moments. I look forward to them. Maybe though. the teams will be a little bit better this year.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I would like to see somebody, like for example, Dolphins against Bills or something, or uh, maybe the Chiefs against the Raiders or something in London. It'll be nice to see something like that instead of two blowout teams playing you know in London.
I wouldn't call the Dolphins a blowoff team, but
Wasn't talking about the Dolphins. I was talking maybe
uh,
Cleveland
well, they had
Jets.
Jacksonville last year, and they had
Yeah,
Jacksonville,
I
and I
mean,
can't remember.
we
Um,
they need if they want to get London involved, they need to get some good teams out there and do all that. So
okay,
I'm excited about that.
awesome. Well, Scott, let's crack into the news. I know you had some news about the boys you wanted to talk about, and there's a couple other things that we just want to touch on, let y'all know about if you hadn't heard about. Um, just kind of keep you relevant, right? Kind of keep you up to
Right.
par. What's going on in the NFL? So,
So I'm going to start off with the Dallas Cowboys real quick. Man, so I know they had to make their 53-man roster cut today. But as of right now, Dallas Cowboys only have one quarterback, and that's Dak Prescott. We all know that they're going to get a backup quarterback before the season starts. I mean, you have to have one, okay? But who's it going to be, Polk? Is it going to be Will Greer, or is it going to be Cooper Rush? I'm going to go with Greer. I thought his preseason was a lot better than Cooper Rush. What's your opinion on that?
yeah, and Will Greer is just the younger guy, right? You know, Cooper Rush. We've seen him in game situations. Cooper Rush. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't do terrible, but he's not out there impressing me. He's not a quarterback that I look forward to coming into the game. There was a lot of roster cuts. There was some talent that was cut. There was a couple guys that some rookies. Ian Book just got cut. I'd rather give
Yeah,
Ian Book a chance than see what we have with some of these other guys.
right. All right, I agree with you on that. I know we signed our punt returner, kickoff returner as well. He did fantastic in the offseason. I expect him to be in that wide receiver core somewhere, somehow this season. He has just got some phenomenal speeds. He sees the lanes down there. And he did good. I mean, they threw the ball to him a couple of times during preseason. So I think I'm not saying we're in trouble, but with Tyron Smith being out possibly for the rest of the season, and probably he may retire. That's the news that's been going on after this season. Why
Well,
hasn't the
he
Dallas
missed quite a
Why
few
has the
games
Dallas
last year.
Cowboys? Yeah, he did. I mean, ever since I think the past 4 years he's been missing games, and he's like an aging young person. What I call it is a young geriatric person there. I mean, he's always gotten problems, but he is one of the best tackles out there. Well, why is it the Dallas Cowboys not looking for a veteran? Do they want to? They're so you know. I know they drafted these guys, and they're like, you know what? We drafted these guys for a reason. We're gonna put them out there. Do you think that's a smart decision by the Jones family doing that, or do you think they should just go out there and find a veteran? Maybe just be that veteran could be their backup for now to see how these young guys are developing. Because we all know last year Dak Prescott was pressured a lot, and you signed this quarterback for so many years and so much money. Would you want to get a veteran person out there to protect that?
Right. They just have a lot of money invested in some of these guys. They paid a lot of guys pretty big the past few years. So Zeke got a contract. What's his name? Uh, Lawrence got a contract coming off the edge. Dak got a contract. Now we have seen success from teams going out there and paying and buying. What I'd like to say, buying a Super Bowl. The Rams did it last year. They went and found
Right.
their piece and brought in Stafford and they hadn't been shy about getting some of the other pieces that they needed to continue forward, and it kind of worked out. I think the Cowboys have been bit by that before. Um,
Technical
yeah,
difficulties there.
that's a work phone call. Scott, can you talk about some of this news? Let me take this, please.
Sure, no problem. So, Houston Texans today, which I was really surprised today, they released Marlon Mack. You guys, if you have him in your roster right now, you need to drop him. Uh, yeah, he's probably going to wind up going to another team, but is he going to start for that team? I seriously doubt it. Um, More likely, he'll probably go to the Ravens, just like everybody else has. And I like Marlon Mack. His injuries just concerned me. I thought he did well in the preseason, but it looks like it's going to be the rookie and uh, Rex Burkhardt. So he is going to wind up going. Yeah, he is going to wind up going to a team. Just don't know where. I would just go ahead and drop him for now, I, unless it's a possibility. He has options, like the Seahawks. You think he's done? You think he's done in the NFL? You don't think he's going to be starting? Or you don't think he's going to be a backup somewhere? I think Seahawks should
So
pick him up.
I don't think he's
I mean,
done. I liked Mac. Mac wasn't a terrible back, right? When
that
he
is
played
it.
a couple 1,000-yard seasons. The problem was
Right,
Mac never played a full season, and he's 2 years
right,
removed from football. You have other
right.
players that, Philip Lindsay's a little bit younger, and he
Mhm.
hadn't missed an entire season. You have injury concerns. You bring Mac in to be that guy. He's never been able to be that guy. Right now, maybe if you can salt and pepper him in, maybe if the Ravens sign him, and throw him in that committee, it might work out. But
Mhm.
at the same time, you just have concerns, right? You can never fully trust
Right.
this guy. And there's other guys, Kenyon Drake. There's guys that's done, just as good, if not better, in the NFL. So I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see him on a team. Like I said, I like Mac. I thought he had a chance to be the guy in Houston, but Damian Pierce
Well,
came in the scene and just kind of
mhm.
showed him that fourth round rookie can step up, and unfortunately, it's going to be hard to find a job,
Right.
with all these younger guys coming into the league.
Yeah. So other cuts today was Bills cut several people today that are named players, but not going to be on your fantasy league. Matt Barkley was cut, which I'm really surprised. For being their backup quarterback for them. Tavon Austin was cut. I mean, he's been getting cut a lot. But the surprising one to me today was OJ Howard being cut with them. They talk about the beginning of before the season preseason started that OJ is going to be targeted a little bit more, and as he did in Tampa Bay, he just can't produce, and um, Dawson Knox is going to be looking good. So you guys have Dawson Knox on your fantasy league. You know, look to him to get more targets now since OJ Howard's gone.
Right, and it's crazy because OJ Howard's the most he's athletic, right? He's a very athletic tight end. Um, so it's crazy to see that teams are giving up on that athleticism, and it's got to be maybe he just can't block at all. Injuries are concerned, but wow, that was a surprise cut. Now, when you talk about Mac Barkley,
Yeah,
USC quarterback, right? I
right.
hadn't seen them really succeed in a while, and then Duke Johnson, and then Tavon
Yeah,
Austin.
Duke
Just
Johnson. Right.
He hadn't
Avon,
done
man,
much
he
since he left the
just
Cowboys.
right. I mean, it's been bad. So
All right.
also Sony Dolphins. Sony Michelle got cut today, which I was really surprised. I mean, he came on the scene last year towards the end of the Rams season, especially in the Super Bowl, doing okay. He was not doing his best, but Mostert over there has surprisingly been doing well in the preseason. So they
I
decided
think
to
what happened, he used to
go
play for Bill Belichick, and so he showed up,
right.
and the Dolphins were like, "Hey, we know you don't have any real skill, go ahead and give your good check information. And then he didn't have much because he didn't done last year. So then they just go ahead and cut that tie. There's a couple other names that I was real surprised about. Williams is a guy that came on 2 years ago. It just looked to be like he was going to take over that number 2 receiver role and develop. He's a guy that showed up at camp and just kind of
he's a big
with
guy.
the size. Yeah. And then he
big guy. Yeah. Go ahead.
Missed out. So that's unfortunate. We might see him land on a practice squad somewhere. Mohamed Sanu, he hadn't been able to stick on a team in a couple years.
That's the Bengals.
Just an older guy that he's trying to collect a paycheck, right? It's just no one wants to pay him. Unemployment or the retirement home may suit him. Sorry, Mohamed. You were good back when you were on Atlanta, but it's been quite a little while. I want to move to New England real quick and talk about little Jordan Humphreys. That one kind of hit home.
Hey, hang on 1 second before you start that.
Okay.
Your boy, Josh Rosen. Remember last year where we talked about him, and I think did he win you a game? Did he win you a game last year?
Yes. Yeah. Josh Rosen won me a game with those 2 interceptions, those back-to-back. It was my defense. I needed like 6 points or something, and he threw those 2 picks, and that was phenomenal. Josh Rosen, forever. You know what I'm saying? Forever. I love you forever, man. I appreciate that. Good looking out.
Well, he got cut today by the Cleveland Browns. Can you believe that? By the Cleveland Browns, knowing they need,
which is unfortunate. We need him. I need him to play, and so I got Miami's defense in a couple of fantasy leagues. I need him to go somewhere over there in that AFC East. And if quarterback goes down, maybe he can help me out again. Rosen, remember me, man. I'm rooting for you. So I hope you get a job, especially in the AFC East. Good luck. Anyway, crazy cut. Are we surprised? He's been cut? Like, God, wow.
Eddie, he's getting close to. What's his name? Just retired this year. Oh God, he's been playing football for forever and a half. He played for the the Washington football team last year.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few people. So 53 people played.
The starting quarterback over there got hurt the first week. I don't know why I'm throwing a blank. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking about Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick, yeah. He's
Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic, yeah.
Love him.
He's played just many teams that he did. So
yeah. Hey, Mr. IQ himself. Okay, yeah. He's catching up real quick. Hopefully, he's getting a jersey at every one of these teams so he can sell it later when he's on the unemployment line. Anyway, no, Josh Rosen, his dad will take care of him, so he's good. He don't have to worry about money. He didn't have to play anyway. Back to New England. So one of the crazy ones just hit home, and it shows you shouldn't leave college before you're ready. Little Jordan Humphrey just got cut from his second team. He was drafted by the Saints, didn't really make it there, and now New England has just cut him. And it's sad when you're getting cut by teams that need receivers, right?
Right.
So that just goes to show that maybe and I didn't play college ball, but maybe you polish your skills a little more in college before you come out to the NFL. Hope he finds a job. Another crazy one, Malcolm Butler got cut.
Yeah.
They went ahead and cut him from New England, so that's unfortunate. And again, I hope all these people find a job, and unless you're a few people that I'm not a fan of in the NFL. But anyway. So, Scott, is there any more names that just really jumped off the page that kind of surprised you about some of these cuts?
One of them didn't surprise me. Josh Gordon got cut today from the Kansas City. That didn't surprise me. But, Derek Gore, I'm telling you, Raiders right now are cleaning house what Gruden picked on their picks, man.
They are. Kenyon Drake's out. They talked about Josh Jacobs possibly being traded at the beginning of training camp, which, I'm not surprised. I'm not a huge fan of Gruden. I'm not a big fan of the players he drafted. Really surprised me. I thought he had a good core base starting into, coming with Carr and, what he did with Waller. But, man, Josh Jacobs was a swing and a miss. And anyway,
No,
okay.
yeah,
So,
he's a miss, all right. But I mean, honestly, uh, nothing really out there that I see that
Philip Lindsay got
doesn't
cut.
stand out. Yeah, it's
Um,
hard.
yeah, that's unfortunate. And I'm
I
sure
like
there's some
Philip
other.
Lindsay. I like Philip Lindsay. I just think Denver kind of gave up on him. So, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he was good in Denver, right? Never been the
Right.
same, and same thing. I think these guys have opportunities when they go to Houston, and I just forget, how bad Houston is, and the committee that they had, they never even declared a start last. I think they did, but just the way they cycled them out, it was gross. It was terrible for fantasy. So no one really paid attention to that room. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the surprising ones that I've seen. We talked about the
Now,
Cowboys, weird Greer, all that stuff. So
now, Polk, I have a question for you. This is not a cut. This is actually somebody who got signed. Are you surprised the 49ers signed Jimmy G for another year? I mean, they
oh,
were
what
talking
a
about
awesome,
trading him.
what a good question. No, I'm not. What that does is that just so you have it's the same thing you do in fantasy, right? You have a running quarterback, you worry about injuries because he's going to take a little bit more hits. He's not going to be able to, dead fish like they say Tom Brady does. Just go limp, and that's what Tom Brady attributes his non-injury to. They say it's terrible sacking him or tackling him at all because he just kind of collapses in your arms, like a little marionette, and they cut the strings. Um, so with that, he's going to be running. He's going to be trying to evade people, and I think that's where people get hurt. Right? They're trying to stay up. They're trying not to get dragged down. They're fighting. They make that wrong step. Someone steps on the ankle. Whatever they're doing, they're more susceptible to injury. Trey Lance, I mean, is a running quarterback, right? So
Right.
with that, you incur some risk. And I think with Jimmy Garoppolo, if they get far enough, if they get those wins to move into playoffs, it's something unfortunate does happen to Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be able to step in. He knows the offense, and it's going to be okay. I'm not going to say great, but it's going to be okay.
But I
So
mean,
yeah,
Polk, they were talking about not more than 2 3 weeks ago just trading him. And
right. But and that sounds
I mean, do you think his performance in preseason was not that great, and that's
Scott,
why they
Scott,
decided it's not?
Scott. You like your truck. Let's say you buy another one, right? Another brand new truck
Mm-hmm.
runs just fine, maybe a little bit better, a little bit newer model. Um, and I walk up, and you don't need two trucks, right?
You
Right?
never
You don't
know.
need two trucks.
I
Well,
might.
let's say you don't need two trucks. That one truck's gonna be perfect,
Right.
right? And I
Right.
walk up and I offer you asking price, then you're gonna consider getting rid of it, right? But I walk up
Sure.
and toss a bag of peanuts on the ground, you're gonna consider keeping it, right?
Right. Right.
So I mean
Exactly.
that's kind of what happened with that. No one was gonna give them what they want. Houston's already, they paid Watson, and now Watson's out 11 games, and I mean it's not
You
like
mean Browns?
yeah,
Houston
yeah,
Browns.
yeah. Well, same team, right? Both gross.
Right.
Uh, anyway, um, they're not in win now mode, right? Like I mean, like it's not like Jimmy G's going to come out there and win them like 11 games
Right.
until Watson can step back in, and Watson didn't look that great anyway. So in the preseason, yeah, and that's what happened, man. They went ahead and decided to keep the insurance and policy in place, and I think it's going to work out for them, especially if something happens. They're gonna praise them. They're gonna congratulate them. Talk about they're the smartest GM in the world. If something happens to Trey Lance, Jimmy G comes steps in and manages a Super Bowl, right? Like
Right.
we're
Right.
never going to say Jimmy G's going to go out there and win it, but manages his way into a Super Bowl. So
So,
I think it's a great
quick
decision.
question. Quick question for you. Would you, if you say, for example, somebody did drafted Jimmy G, Would you keep him or just throw him in the waiver
Um,
wire?
no, Jimmy G's a guy that so he's not a starter, right? Why waste a roster spot for a backup quarterback and hope on an injury? Like you just because he's the highest paid backup doesn't make him must have, right? So I would waste a roster spot on a backup running back or it would probably be a backup running back before I did it on a
Right.
backup quarterback. I'm sorry. Running backs things happen too, and Jimmy G wasn't that good as a starter, right? Like last year, people
Right.
like you can normally find him in the free agency. So definitely find him in the free agency if something happens to Trey Lance, and really just take him so that the owner of Trey Lance has to try to trade for him or someone else.
Well, one last
Yep.
question for you.
Okay.
One last question.
We're going to the shittiest.
So, whoa.
Uh oh.
Okay.
Uh oh.
This guy could be. This guy could be. Mitchell Trubisky. Are you worried about him? Is he going to lose his job because Mr. Pickett over there had a pretty good offseason there. I mean, I'm sorry, preseason.
I'm not gonna lie. I've enjoyed watching Pickett. I want to pull that Band-Aid. I want to see what I've got, right? Like if it's me, Mitch Trubisky is going to be an insurance policy because I mean, ideally, it's not Mitch's team, right? They just brought him in because
Right.
they wanted to fill the void, and they didn't realize what they had in the quarterback. Now they realize what they have. Yeah, set Mitch on the bench and send him out next year, for a trade or cut him or whatever. And Pickett will have another year. He'll have a year with Pickens. That offense is young, it's new. Let them grow together. Again, we're looking at the same situation, right? Like, is Mitch going to go out there and take that team to their Super Bowl? No, your rookie
No.
quarterback has just as much opportunity. Mitch has had his chance with the team, and they decided to part ways, and they drafted him.
But you were pretty high on him 3 weeks ago. You were pretty high
Yes,
on Mitch.
Hey, I thought that Mitch was going to come in there and be the starter, right? And Mitch is. He's not the reason he's not on the team that drafted him is because he's to me there's winning quarterbacks, there's 10-6 quarterbacks, and then there's 8-8 quarterbacks. Okay. Mitch Trubisky's an 8-8 quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is an 8-8 quarterback. They're not going to carry your team to victory, but they're not going to, they're not like some of these backups that are going to come out there and throw. They're not Josh Rosen, right? They're not going to just throw 2 interceptions with 2 passes in the game to lose the game or whatever. They're not. They're just the other backup, Mason Rudolph. Terrible. Has looked great in preseasons. Terrible quarterback. Like anybody's better. So that's coming into this, I hadn't seen Pickett play in the pro style or any of that. Coming into this, I thought, well, this competition is Mason Rudolph, and you're. I mean, come on, Trubisky is head and heels better than Rudolph. So, heck yeah. But Pickett's came out, and I mean, he went 28 for 32, 2 touchdowns. Didn't have an interception. The kid looks great.
Well, I mean,
so,
hey,
I would continue.
I saw that game, and he looked like he was like been playing in the NFL for a while. I understand there's a backup that's in there, but he was calm. Right. He was, he looked good. And so, guys, I'm going to tell you, if you're doing your fantasy drafts, I'm not saying you got to go get Kenny Pickett, but if you got everybody that you need, and he's still on your board, and that's your last pick, say you already got your defense and your kicker, why not get him? Why not pick him up? Because eventually he's going to be the starter. He's going to be the starter on that team this year.
Right. And like we always talk about as an insurance policy, it's nice to have insurance policies. If I've got Lamar Jackson, if I've got Trey Lance, if I've got Kyler Murray, one of these running quarterbacks, well, why not? It's just a nice, worst comes to worst. He doesn't start, and if one of your guys goes down, you pick somebody up off the free agency that starts.
Right.
I wouldn't go and get one of these guys and then waste you don't get one of these guys in the 5th or 6th round and then go and in the 8th round pick up another backup quarterback, right? It's just not, if you need to at the last round, you grab Pickett and be okay with your decision because, hey, 28 to 32 with no interceptions, 2 touchdowns, that's not a bad stat line, especially for like a bye week or something like that. So,
Right. Right. Okay, Polk. Well, that's all the questions I got for you. So let's start your segment there, and let's go see what we got. This should be fun.
okay, awesome. So, what we're doing, guys, just a quick little rundown. We're doing a little this or that. You ever been to the optometrist and they're going better 1 or 2? They look almost exactly the same, but one is obviously better than the other. Me and Scott's going to give our opinions, and every opinion is different, right? The guy in front of me said 1 was better. I said 2 was better. So our opinions may differ, but it's our opinions, and mine's always better, guys. If y'all were curious, mine is always the better opinion. Mine's always the correct opinion, but you can go with Scott's. You will still get context. You'll still be able to see the light when it's all said and done. So we're just going to run through here. Go ahead.
With Polk, with Polk, you're going to have correct vision, but it's not going to be perfect like mine.
No, it's going to be like 2025. It's better than perfect, right? It's what you get like when you get LASIK. So Scott's giving you like dirty, smudged up glasses. You know what I'm saying? You get in like the back alley. And mine's going to be like LASIK. They take care of you. We give you a fresh towel, get you taken care of, get you to that championship. No problem. Speaking of that,
Polk's going to give you the contact that's, not feeling right. You can still see out of it, but it's still fucking with you. I mean, that's him. That's him.
Yeah. Sounds like you've had quite a few of those.
Yeah, I have it.
All right. So, Scott, let's start it off hot. Jonathan Taylor's consensus number 1. So we're not going to touch him. Go with Jonathan Taylor. He may not repeat, but he is the best option on the table. But then you're setting at number 2, and you've got Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. Which one?
Ooh, man.
Better 1 or better 2? Both of them, especially, let's say we're talking PPR. Both of them catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right.
Both of them are going to get the majority share touches.
So let's look at it this way. I love McCaffrey. You love McCaffrey, correct? All right. A lot of people say he's made out of glass. He can't do it again. He's washed up. Look, I love Christian McCaffrey, man. Before he got hurt, he was the number 1 running back on yardage, catches. The guy was fantastic. Let's go to Austin Eckler real quick. Austin Eckler, man, last year, even with the injuries, he was still productive. Just think if he was playing 17 games last year, think where he'd be at. He'll probably be number 2 or possibly number 1 if he was healthy. With those 2 in mind, I'm going to have to say, and everybody will get mad at me, Christian McCaffrey, because the dude looked phenomenal.
My man.
I mean, he's going to come back. He's going to do it. He's got Baker Mayfield over there. Finally got a quarterback that's going to treat him the way he should be, right? He's not going to be like Cam Newton. And you're like, oh, here you go, psych. I'm going to run over here, and or hey, Cam, throw me the ball. Okay, I missed. No, he's got Baker Mayfield over there. So those 2 are going to be great combos together, and he's going to have probably. I think he's going to have a 600-yard catching season this year because, God dang man, who's their wide receivers over there? Could he have 1,000?
DJ Moore.
I mean, DJ Moore. Yeah, that's it. DJ Moore.
Bobby
right?
Anderson.
That's all they had. Who?
Bobby Anderson. It's Robbie, but yeah, agreed.
I mean, so he could have. It's a possibility he could have 1,000-yard season on both ends. So Christian McCaffrey for me.
Okay, better 1. So just like we said, if this was like a PPR, these guys are they're neck and neck, right? Both of them have pass catching ability. Both of them are as elusive. Eckler's, what do they call him? Like the strongest small man or whatever.
Yes,
a lot of punch in that small package. McCaffrey's a little bit different, where he's gonna finesse you, make you miss. both of them phenomenal backs, right? Barring injury, like take away injuries, and these two guys are some of the best backs that we've seen in a long time. Excluding like Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders, things like that. A little bit different style, but this is a little different age of NFL era, I might say. But with that being said, Christian McCaffrey is the yardage monster. He's just, I mean, the years that he was healthy, he was just something special to watch. And don't get me wrong, Eckler's great. I think his quarterback Herbert takes a little bit away from him because he can throw it downfield, right. So he can chunk that 60-yard bomb and boom, it's a touchdown. And Eckler never even seen anything. Or they run it one time and then boom, hit Mike Williams down the seam. You're not. I'm not going to say you're not going to see that with Baker, but it's less than likely, right? Baker just don't have as big an arm as Herbert. He likes to try to move around in the pocket, and with that, like Scott said, he can just kind of dump it off to McCaffrey, and watch McCaffrey work. So as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a phenomenal pick. I think if he stays healthy, he can definitely be in that number one spot next year, and then everybody's going to be riding his coattails again and talking about how great he is. So,
okay. Yeah, right. All right,
awesome.
I agree with you 100%.
Awesome. Okay, so a lot of the best ones are going to be in this first round. When you get to the later rounds, it's just you're trying to find. I'm not going to say needle in the haystacks, but you're trying to find those, and sometimes you won't see a lot of the same guys. So you're going to hear quite a few first round guys when we're doing this right now. Sorry, I should have probably said this earlier, right? But it's going to help you in those first rounds, help you make some of the tougher decisions. And then, later on, we'll throw out some guys for sure to help y'all later in that draft. But so we're going to move down just a couple of spots, and we're going to go with Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson. We're going to go with the guy that just absolutely killed it last year, or the guy that is, supposed to be the guy this year. Did you hear what Justin Jefferson said about Cooper Kupp?
No. What did he say?
So, he's running his old offense. His coach came down there. He said, he could see why Cooper Kupp was able to get open so much last year with this new offense. So throwing a little shade without throwing shade. I mean,
right. So, man, that's a tough one right there with Cooper Kupp. Look, I mentioned it several times. Cooper Kupp's one of my favorite wide receivers. I mean, ever since he's coming in the NFL, he has been a yardage monster. The guy gets open. He can play against the best corners and still get open, and he will run an extra 10, 15 yards, or get a touchdown. What does the else to say about Cooper Kupp? Justin Jefferson, he's a little younger. He does have Kirk Cousins over there, and he is, in my opinion, the number 2 wide receiver over there in drafts. So I'm going to still have to say Cooper Kupp on that one. Holt, what do you think?
Okay. Man, I agree. Both these guys are phenomenal. Both of these guys should be good for many more years in the league. Justin Jefferson's a little bit younger than Kupp, I believe. Kupp came out a little bit older, but Kupp has finally has a quarterback that can actually get him the ball. Did phenomenal last year. Justin Jefferson, the problem with Justin Jefferson is he has the whole team, right? Thielen's a little bit older, but Thielen is still a great – and Thielen, to me, is kind of an older version of Cooper Kupp, right? Just a guy that's super fast that just is still going to beat you, beat you with his route running and getting open and always seems to catch it, always seems to bring it down and then just shake off tackles and create space and score when you don't think he has a possibility to.
Right.
So – but he's got the weapons. I think I like Thielen. Well, he's got A-Rob now. Last year,
right?
But I like Thielen as a complimentary number 2. I think that offense is going to do just a little bit better. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Kupp at all. And this is a coin flip. I'm gonna take the younger guy. Right. I'm gonna take Justin Jefferson on this one.
It's a toss up. Honestly, with those two, you can go either way. You're not going to be disappointed
Right.
drafting him. So
Right. I could be. This is one that I could be completely wrong about, but at the same time, I mean, these are two phenomenal picks. Um, I like Jefferson just because he's a little bit younger, a little bit faster, but
right.
Cooper Cup's gonna beat him everybody all day on running his routes, so
Well,
he'll be open. He'll
well,
get the ball plenty.
the only thing that concerns me with Justin Jefferson, the Rams' offensive line is a little bit better, and it gives Matthew Stafford a little bit more time to go through his progressions and look. Minnesota, I think they're going to be the pick of the year where they're going to go to the playoffs. Okay, and Justin Jefferson is going to be one of those guys to get them there. The only problem that I have is their offensive line. They get hurt every year, just like the Cowboys. They get hurt, and so Cousins doesn't have the time to. He's got to scramble. He's got to hurry up and throw the ball, and so he doesn't have time to say, "Oh well, maybe Jefferson was open," instead of me throwing at Thielen or Dalvin Cook or jump off of Dalvin Cook. So
Well, the great thing is
if their offensive line stays healthy, Justin Jefferson might be that number one next year.
the great thing is they're able to threaten the run, so they're going to get teams to step up, and Jefferson is going to be fast enough to either run that slant and beat his guy or beat him over the top, and Kirk can just quickly get that ball out to him. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Vikings have a better running back than probably Akers and Henderson put together. So
Correct.
Stafford is that gunslinger. That's my concern. Is Stafford just he don't care. Last year it worked out a lot in his favor where he just chunked it into double coverage, and Cooper Cup was able to come down it and make some just great catches. I just think that gets him a little bit in trouble. We've seen it in Detroit where it got him in trouble quite a few games. So
Right.
that's my only concern with that. I think Stafford's a great quarterback, but like I said, Kirk's a little bit more methodical. Never the best, right? But when you look at it on paper, he looks phenomenal. So
It does look phenomenal. And Kirk gives you that. He's not going to give you that 25, 30 point every game, but he'll at least give you 18 to 22, and that's enough to get win your fantasy for that week if your team is pretty good. So
you're right. Okay. All
what
right.
else you got for us, man?
All right, buddy. We're going just right down the list. I got two more backs that are looking real good. Did real well last year for the most part. Definitely top 10 guys. We're talking about Najee Harris and Joe Mixon.
Man, two in the same division over there. You know, I was not a big fan of Mixon last year, just because I had him the year before, and he just was horrible. You had hurt, didn't want to play, and then all of a sudden, man, he's become one of the best running backs out there. Uh, Najee Harris, and I think this year he may struggle a little bit, because of his situation out there in Pittsburgh. I'm going to have to go with Joe Mixon this year. I
Joe
think it's
Mixon,
just
huh?
because, yeah, he's got better wide receivers, he's got a better offensive line, and I mean, if he continues like he did last year, he's going to be one of those top five running backs for next year.
Right on. Okay. Joe Mixon. Najee Harris, Joe Mixon. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna lean in the same direction with Scott. The line was supposed to be one of the worst lines last year. It was supposed to be the worst graded O line against D line schedule wise, and Joe Mixon did phenomenal. I think Joey Burrow alleviates a lot of that. He's just so good that he kind of scares teams and keeps them from blitzing because he's going to find the open guy. He's going to see that one linebacker to the right, outside linebacker blitzing, and he's going to be able to hit that slant that's running right there in that area, that zone that he should be covering. So that kind of scares teams and keeps them honest. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, folks, I mean, the offensive line, they developed really quick. I mean, there were three rookies on there, and they developed really quick. It surprised everybody. Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl, and
Right.
these these were supposed to be the guys that were going to have a rough year,
Right.
and they
And that's
didn't.
exactly it. So, they did really well. They worked really well together. If they keep that up, they even added pieces. They've gotten even better. And so I agree. I mean, I think Joe Mixon's a great back. He's just all around right. He's got the speeds, the size. He can be elusive. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run somebody over if he needs to. So and I think that gives him a little bit of an edge over Najee. Najee just kind of to me, is one of those bowling balls. He keeps pounding and he's pounding 5 yards at a time, and nothing's wrong with that. But his line, I think, is a little bit worse than what Cincinnati's got. They just
Right.
never recovered. When they lost everybody. So I agree. I think Joe Mixon's the pick right there. So wow, we seen it together, man.
That's right.
Good job.
All right. What else you got for me?
Okay, so we're gonna move down the list quite a bit. There's a lot of great guys in between. Unfortunately, we can't talk about every one of them, so we're just kind of skipping through here. But I want to talk about another one. I want to talk about some guys that people are getting second, third round, somewhere around there. Travis Etienne and Cam Akers. Both of these guys missed all of last year. Cam Akers came in and played a couple games towards the end of the season. Looked pretty good, but they're both guys that, for the most part, are the franchises are looking for them to be the future. They're both guys that possibly could be in a committee by the middle of the season. So, Scott, tell me what you think about Travis Etienne and Cam Akers.
All right. So Travis Etienne, what's to say about this guy right now? There's not a lot to say about him because he did play last year. He hasn't played it down yet in the NFL, and I joke about it. If he could play one game, he did better than last year. But look, the guy has speed, and he's one of those guys. He's kind of like Austin Eckler, when he played in college. He can catch in the backfield. He can run. He's got great vision. Cam Akers last year, I wasn't before the season started. I wasn't really sold on him. I just thought he didn't see the line. Kind of like Jonathan Taylor last year. We were kind of concerned about him. He just kind of man, is he going to be a flunky? He's not seeing anything, and all of a sudden Jonathan Taylor just blew up. I was hoping for that for Cam Akers, and he started, like you said, he started coming around and everything. I'm going to make a bold prediction this year. I think Travis Etienne is going to do pretty good this year. It sucks for James Robinson because I'm actually a big James Robinson fan. But I think he's going to take over that role a little bit more. I think it's a quick team, it's a young team, and they're going to need some help over there because Christian Kirk, all those guys over there that got signed, I don't think it's going to help Lawrence out too much. He's going to be dumping off to ECN a lot.
Okay, I like it. I agree with the Robinson comment. I like him. I'm a fan. We'll talk about Akers real quick first. I loved Akers coming into the NFL. Um, I watched him at Florida State. They just handed him the ball 100 times one game that I watched. I mean, not literally, but it was Cam Akers, first down, Cam Akers,
Yeah.
first down, Cam Akers, first down. So coming into the NFL, I was real excited, especially in the style of offense that the Rams had going on. They had just, had Todd Gurley. They pretty much ran him into the ground, but they ran him. They ran him constantly, consistently. Todd Gurley was one of those top backs just because of the style of offense, and not taking anything away from him. He was a great back, but you give him the ball 30 times in a game. So I was hoping that same thing was going to happen to Cam Akers. Unfortunately, he tore his Achilles. Came back towards the end of the season, got like 23 carries in the game, did real well. But now Henderson kind of showed himself, and so now he's got a battle for that spot. And I don't know if injuries. He already had an injury already in the preseason, so that concerns me, right? Can he stay on the field? Etienne,
Right.
unfortunately, he came in, got drafted. They want him to be the guy. Had a real serious injury, missed the entire year. Robinson's out. Robinson's not going to come in. He's not going to be available week 1. Huh? No, it's not for a couple weeks, right? Did they pup him? Do you know?
Correct. Correct. He is going to be out at least one game right now.
Okay. So then we're going to see how Etienne does. But I agree. Etienne's a special talent. He's coming in with his college quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Found him a lot in college. They Etienne looked really good, elusive, fast. He is going to be the pass catcher in that offense. So I just think that he's going to be able to eat into Robinson's shares. Robinson was, a low draft capital guy. Undrafted, right? He was undrafted, right? So
Right.
just a guy that they didn't spend stock on, and they actually spent it on Etienne. So it's kind of Etienne's job to give back to Robinson. Unfortunately, with that being said, I like Etienne just coming into it. The Jaguars are a new team. They're rebuilding. They're trying to establish their key players right now, and Etienne has a great opportunity to be that. And I think if he establishes himself early on, he will be that running back of the future. So.
Right. Right. That's a good. Hey, Paul, that was a good one there. Both. Yeah, that was a good one. Both of them are injured. They both had injuries, so
Yeah,
that's
and
good.
people don't. I mean, people, you're not going to go terribly wrong. It's just, again, who we think, and we think Etienne has the better opportunity. Akers coming in a little injured may lose carries to Henderson, right? And Etienne, is coming in and going to have the have the carries. So, all right, so we'll move on to the next two. Two guys, real similar. Both of them after this season are going to say that they played with Russell Wilson, right? We're going to
Mm-hmm.
go with a guy that's going 49 and 50. Can you guess?
Yeah, Cortland Sutton and Jared Judy.
Not Jerry Judy, but DK Metcalf.
Oh, sorry, DK Metcalf. Sorry.
Yeah. Jerry Judy's going to play with him this year.
Right, right,
But yeah,
right.
yeah, both of them real tall, big receivers. They're going to be go route receivers, just big guys. You chunk it up to, you throw that moon ball that Russell Wilson's famous for, and they go up and catch it and bring it down on top of somebody and in the touchdown. So, oh, we lost you for a second, Scott. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Sorry, I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, you're not recording now. Oh, we lost Scott. So while he's kind of fixing it, we'll give you a rundown. We'll give you my opinion on these two guys. First off, we're going to start off. I'm not a fan of DK Metcalf. I have never been a fan. I think that Russell Wilson kind of elevated his game. Just a big guy that I think was overdrafted because of his size and because of his speed. Can't really run a route. Cortland Sutton, on the other hand, has been a guy that, has this team really wanted to shine, and he's had real bright spots. But injuries and things have kind of held him back. And I think bad quarterback play has held him back. So I think the guy that I would want on my team is going to be Cortland Sutton, hand over foot over DK Metcalf. I'm just not a fan of DK, and I'm sure that he will score fantasy points. He's not going to be terrible. He can get 1,000 yards, but I think Sutton just has that better opportunity. Like I said, you got Russell Wilson, you got the moon ball that he loves to chunk it. He loves to chunk it deep. He's going to scramble in the pocket, avoid a couple sacks, and then just heave it up. And Cortland Sutton's big enough. As long as he can stay on the field, he's going to be able to pull down quite a few touchdowns this year. I'm looking almost double digits. We're going to say 9, possibly 10 touchdowns, which would be fantastic. Just the type of receiver he is, and the type of guy that Russell Wilson likes to throw to. So that's my pick. We got Scott back. Welcome back, Scott.
Thank you. All right, so Hulk,
Yep.
DK, and then Cortland Sutton. Well, I've heard most of it there, and I have to agree with you on that. Look, Cortland Sutton's going to have a monster year. Finally got a quarterback. I mean, so many quarterback changes over there in Denver, and they finally got what was the last good quarterback they had over there in Denver? Peyton Manning, and he was coming off his last years over there. He wasn't even wasn't his best years. So, but I mean, he did win a Super Bowl. Anyway, they got Russell Wilson.
They dragged
now.
him kicking and screaming to that Super Bowl. He was chunking ducks. It was
right. It was bad. It was sad to see that too.
And defense won that one.
Yes, sir, they did. But now they got Russell Wilson. Everybody's concerned about Russell Wilson because of his injury last year. Look, guys, he's got probably the top 5 offensive line right now that he's playing for. And then he's also got Devontae Williams. He's got Melvin Gordon as his running back. The 2 guys that, haven't had injuries yet. But his running backs that he had over there.
Don't say that.
I know, sorry. The running backs that he had over there, I mean, Chris and Rashard over there, they got hurt all the time. So he had to go scramble. If he couldn't get, find somebody open. His offensive line in Seattle was horrible. Now he's got, Corey Sutton. He's got Jared Judy. And I'm not taking away from Tyler Lockett by anything. I think Tyler Lockett is a good wide receiver. He's a speedster. Jared Judy's going to be just kind of like him, right, Polk? It's going to be that other guy on the opposite side. A little bit less speed. Jared
Judy's a little bit more technical route runner.
Right.
I honestly would relate Lockett just because of the speed and the routes he ran to something that I would do with KJ Hamler.
There you go. Exactly. So, but Cortland, man, he's going to have a great year. I'm happy for this guy. He's a phenomenal player. If you ever watched him in college, that's why they drafted him. He's a big guy. And I have seen him go in the 3rd and 4th round. I have seen him go late into the 7th and 8th round, which surprised the hell out of me for a number 1 wide receiver. So I'm going with Cortland. I mean, DK, like you said, man, Russell made him look good. I'm sorry, man. Who they got over there? They can't decide is Drew Lock. They can't decide is.
No, they announced the starter. It's going to be what's his name, Geno Smith.
No, Geno Smith. Okay, so Geno's going to be the starter, right?
Yep.
Geno's been just as much as Fitzmagic. He's been on different teams. Geno is not the greatest quarterback over there. He's a lifetime backup quarterback. I see DK going to have less catches this year, less touchdowns. He's going to get frustrated, and he's going to ask for a trade.
I think that offense is really going to struggle too. I think it's going to be rough, but I think we'll see both quarterbacks start at different points in the season.
I guarantee
good luck,
you,
Seattle fans.
I would guarantee you DK is going to ask for a trade. I know he's got paid, but he's going to ask for a trade. He just got paid,
yeah.
Yeah, he's going to ask. I guarantee it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Scott's chugging a beer on that one. Okay, Scott, let me give you this next set of guys. Let me step out. Let me grab me a beer, right? You're drinking. I want to drink. I'm thirsty. I'm parched. I ran out of unsweet tea, my favorite, the best. So let me give you this next set of guys. What's really neat is they used to be teammates.
Ooh.
These guys are going 62 and 63 at their ADP. Wide receivers, 26 and 27. They both. Wow. They both had a terrible quarterback last year. Terrible quarterback play anyway. I mean, I'm sure he's whatever they drafted him, I guess, for a reason. I guess we're talking about Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney, right?
Right.
Used to be teammates. I know who you're going to pick. I know it.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
You know who's going to be, right?
Oh yeah, it's Allen Robinson for you.
Yeah, it's Allen Robinson. I love the guy. I mean, he's had 1,000-yard season. He, tried to prove to Chicago. Go ahead. He's tried to prove Chicago that he's still the number 1 wide receiver over there. They wouldn't pay the guy, and he's like, "All right, cool. You don't want to pay me? I'm going to go to the Super Bowl team." And so he went to the Rams. I know everybody's high on Darnell Mooney. I like Darnell Mooney. There's no doubt about it. I think he's a phenomenal player. But the problem is they got Justin Fields over there. They have a horrible offensive line. They have no running backs. I mean, yeah, I know they got Montgomery over there. But Uh, I just don't see him being that guy for your fantasy football. I think he's going to be a great fill-in when your guys are on a bye week. Yeah, you want to get Darnell Mooney, but if you want to get him as your number 2, that's not a good choice in my opinion. I think Robinson will be a decent flex, low end number 2. Okay, and Mooney is just he's your fill-in, and that's my opinion. Robinson, he's going to have 1,000-yard season, even though he's a number 2 over there. He's still going to have He's still going to have 1,000 yards, guarantee it. With Matthew Stafford throwing that ball down there, if Cooper Kupp is double covered over there, who they're going to throw to? Robinson. Let's say, for example, they sign Odell again. Who are they going to throw still over there? They're still going to throw to Robinson because Robinson still knows how to run those routes. He's probably the most talented and underrated route runners I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he played for freaking Jacksonville, for God's sakes, over there, and still got 1,000-yard season. So, Polk, I mentioned a little bit. I see a lot of people getting Mooney as their number 2 wide receiver, and I said he's a great fill-in when your wide receivers are on bye weeks. You agree with me on that?
I heard you. I got to hear you all, Scott.
Okay, cool.
I didn't miss a beat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mooney's a guy that everybody, last year was supposed to be his breakout season. Didn't do terrible, but wasn't what you wanted. Allen Robinson, besides last year, has been a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, right? I think he got an upgraded quarterback. I think he's still that guy that can still produce in the league. So, yeah, I'm going to take Allen Robinson over Darnell Mooney. Don't get me wrong. Like Scott said, Darnell Mooney is a great pickup. You're not going to be wrong in either one of these situations. But Allen Robinson, I think, is just going to have a little bit more opportunity, right? So everybody's going to want to double cover Cooper Kupp. And Allen Robinson can run those routes. He's fast enough. He's got great hands. He showed it with Mitch Trubisky. He can be a consistently good wide receiver. And Darnell Mooney is going to be the guy that's going to get double covered because there's no one else on that team at all. So,
all
right. All right.
Okay, man. I love it.
So I just got one more for Scott. I got 2 more.
Okay.
We'll do a bonus round like we normally do.
Yeah.
But this next one, 2 guys that, we're gonna they deal with injuries a lot. It's just their careers hadn't been where they started out. They've kind of fallen from grace a little bit. One of them's on their first team still. The other one's on his third team. So, but 2 of the guys getting taken pretty close, 67 and 69, wide receiver 29, wide receiver 30. We're talking Michael Thomas and Amari Cooper.
Michael Thomas and Amari Cooper. Whoo, man. 2 quarterbacks that they don't have.
Right.
Well, you can have – it's a toss-up for Michael Thomas because you got a Jameson Winston right over there who likes to throw 40 for 40. Michael Thomas can have one good game. He could have 0 catches for -5 yards or one, Michael Thomas has had injuries. He's been out for, a year and a half now?
Almost 2 full years, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just and I don't know. That's a hard one on me. Amari Cooper, he plays hard. He plays hurt. When he was with the Cowboys, he always went out there and played hard. Who's going to be the quarterback over there right now? BP Brisket?
Jacoby Brisket. Yep.
Yeah. So he's going to be the guy.
Brisket.
There you go. I am going to go with Amari Cooper on this, just like what I said, man. He's a little bit of the better option. You're taking a risk with Michael Thomas. He barely played in 2 years. I know it's kind of like a double standard with McCaffrey a little bit there, but Michael Thomas just doesn't show like he wants to be with the Saints. He doesn't look like he wants to play football anymore. He just wants to get paid. Uh, with Cooper has that attitude. He still has that hunger, and he, like I said, he plays hurt when he's hurt, and he doesn't show it or anything. He just like feed me the ball, feed me the ball. So, in my opinion, it's got to be Cooper this year.
Okay. All right.
What
So,
do you think?
well, this is crazy. You're taking beefy 5 layers guy. I'm actually going to lean towards Michael Thomas, like you said. Winston will come out there and throw 40 touchdowns. Now, if he throws 40 interceptions, that's fine. I just like the upside, right? So this is crazy because both guys, like Michael Thomas 2 years ago, was getting picked in the first round. Amari Cooper last year, if he's still on the Cowboys, he's getting picked as a number 1 still. 2 guys fallen real far from grace. All the talent in the world, but injuries and just team decisions and things like that have really hurt them. Neither one of them were necessarily happy with their franchise last year, and that kind of affected them negatively. I just think the upside of Michael Thomas, team that just doesn't have a wide receiver right, and the Saints can play good football. Still, I'd hope, with Sean Payton gone, we'll see. But Winston loves to air it out. They still got Kamara to threaten the run. Like, they've got pieces. Versus the Browns are just not sure who their quarterback's going to be. You're going to see Brisket for 11 games, and you're going to see Deshaun Watson maybe. If Brisket gets hurt, who are you going to see after that? So it's just a little crazy. I think Cleveland's in too much turmoil, too many distractions. It's going to be hard for him to play football. Michael Thomas, if he can stay healthy and get on the field, then it's just going to be concentrating on football.
Okay.
I'm going to take Michael Thomas just for the upside. I avoid Cleveland players. I'm sorry.
You didn't avoid Baker Mayfield, though.
I'd never drafted him.
No, but you did on Fantasy.
No.
FanDuel. Yes, you have.
Oh, DFS. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You play matchups, right?
Right.
I know.
Yeah, but no, you never. You've always avoided Cleveland people, even when Nick Chubb was, like kind of like the number 3, number 4 guy.
Yep.
You never. You always avoided him.
Yeah, and I like him. Don't get me wrong. Love Nick Chubb. If he was the only running back on that roster, heck yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna do a bonus. I like to tend to throw these in there. These are just fun things. Again, it kind of sticks with our theme. But wow, it's a guy that. So I looked it up, Scott. It's 9 years. This first guy has been in the league 9 years. The second guy has been in the league 4 years. Neither one of them have played a full season, but both of them just busted out of the woodworks last year. And people are in love with them. So Rashad Penny and the other one's Cordell Patterson. Which one do you have to have on your team, Scott?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with Rashard Penny, man. I mean,
Are you?
Cordell Patterson's been with almost 32 teams, and he's finally he probably had a breakout year. It was a surprise. I think it's just going to be a fluke. Rashard Penny. He
Must
played
have.
behind. He's got to have it, man. He's going to win it for me.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Penny. I mean,
you heard it here first. Scott said you have to draft Rashad Penny, right? He said take him in the first round. He is the best, undisputed champion. It's funny, Scott. So the reason this kind of got brought up is I had a conversation with a guy, and I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but he traded for Cordell Patterson. He traded away Juju Smith-Schuster. So what? I told him that I didn't necessarily agree.
Okay, sorry.
I know. I told him I didn't necessarily agree with it. and he wanted to know why. And I said, well, Cordell Patterson's been in the league 7 years. I said he had 1 year where he did good, and Juju has a better quarterback, and he has done, he had a really good year before, and I think the upsides with Juju, and he wanted to argue that Cordell Patterson just did so good last year, and there's no other options on that team, and that's why I got the ball so much. And I said exactly. Now they brought in some options. Kyle Pitts in year 2, Drake
Right.
London's on the outside. This isn't the team this isn't the dumpster fire that it was last year. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to win a Super Bowl, but they've already brought in Tyler Algier. They've already said that they're going to limit Cordell Patterson's carries because of his age.
Even Cordell Patterson said, "I want to break the record for kickoff return for touchdowns." I mean,
Right.
He's already mentioned that. So,
right. So,
well,
I just think so. I told him I didn't like that, and then so I went and looked it up. I wanted to be correct if I was going to tell somebody something, and it was 9 years. So 1 out of 9 years, he was actually a successful in fantasy football or in the NFL or whatever. So
right.
Anyway, the dude after that, the dude dropped the conversation and didn't want to talk to me no more. But anyway, it's
usually I'm sorry. Usually I don't laugh about people when they're on their picks, but sometimes, wow, just like that one, wow.
Right now, I mean, I'm going to give you my opinion. If you don't like it, if you think it's wrong, which it's not, that's fine. 100%, it's opinion. I win championships in fantasy football, and if you don't want to win them, don't listen to me, right? So,
Right.
but it just kind of surprised me. He made the trade, and I was like, hey, if you got Juju, awesome, and he was like, no, I got Cordell, and I was like, oh well, I don't like that, but right on, and it went from there. So, anyway, back to Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny's just a little bit younger. He's going to have opportunities with a rookie back. I think that Walker's going to eat at some of those carries, but I think that's kind of what Penny needs to stay on the field. So if they can find a nice little timeshare, Penny might be the back to have. Cordell Patterson is the back over there, but guys are going to be eating into his carries, and if something happens, he's quick to disappear again, like he did for 8 years or whatever. So, anyway, Scott, that's all I got for us, man.
Cool, man. Well, guys, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna come back to you either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We may do another one this week. We might talk about our fantasy draft a little bit there because I like talking about it. We done it last year, and we might talk about some other stuff. But Wednesday we're gonna break it down for you. Who do you need to start? Who's our sleeper? Polk, I would like to do something that this year a little different than what we did last year. I like to pick a guy that is not a no name that probably could do something for you. He may only get you 4 catches, 70-something yards, but at least he did something. Every week I want to do something like that. Like say somebody got hurt and he's filling in for this person over here, and they're playing a defense that can't cover. Something like that, like a no-name person. It might do good. A deep sleeper, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So coming to you this fall, Deep Sleepers.
That's right.
Awesome.
So,
awesome, man.
like we said, Tuesdays and Wednesdays before Thursday starts, Thursday games, we're gonna break it down to you, give you injuries, tell you who you need to start, who you need not to start. Saturdays we might come in every hour now and then, talk about a little college football, bring some other people in and talk to them about it as well. And then Sunday mornings you'll see Polk and I early in the morning and talk to you about substitutions or whatnot, who's going to start, who's not going to start.
Yeah, so that's going to be the that's going to be a real good one to be able to join us live. We're on YouTube. You can see us. Enjoy my jerseys. I'm going to hang up different jerseys throughout the season, different signed jerseys. But join us. We're going to go over rosters, who start them, sit them type of things, who we think you should start, who we think should sit, and just kind of get you up to date and keep you up on your news. So, yeah, you can watch, like, Good Morning, whatever.
Good Morning Football, whoever,
Whatever
ESPN.
but we're a lot more fun, a
Yeah.
lot more attractive. And a lot better at this. I don't know how many championships they've won, but I know how many I've won, and it's more than
exactly.
one.
Same here.
So right on.
I mean, guys, you can talk to us. You can Polk's the only person who can see the questions and everything. But if you can just, you want to give us a question, say, hey man, who should I start this week? We will love to answer your questions right away.
Right on. And same, if we email us or hit us up on Twitter or hit us up on Facebook or anything like that, send us some questions and we can address them on the show and we'll talk about it, go over, with it and hopefully give you the best advice to win your championships, right? That's what we're all here for. We're all here to be champions or, maybe just to hear a little bit about football. But either way, so yeah. I'm excited. What's up?
Real quick, you want to give a jersey away this year?
I'll be down to give a jersey away this year.
All right, let's give get away a jersey this year. We'll Polk and I will talk about it, and then we'll get back with you probably next week on that and see what we need to do. Okay.
And we don't give away just any jersey.
No.
If you look, we like signed jerseys. Got Jonathan Taylor hanging up, Lamar Jackson hanging up, about 8 more in the closet. I got one. I gave my 8-year-old. He's got one hanging up in his room. Devin Bush jersey, Pittsburgh Steelers. Just because I wanted to get him into football, right? So, we hit some subscribers. We start getting some of y'all asking questions on YouTube, things like that, shooting us emails, things like that. We'll be happy to give one away this season. So,
yeah, tell your friends, tell everybody, and like I said, we'll get back to you probably next week and tell you, hey, this is what the contest rules are all about. And
heck yeah,
I'm excited. I want to give a jersey away. I want to give a good jersey away. So.
Heck yeah.
Right.
And, if you're drafting this week, good luck. I hope you pick all the best players and all your opponents, other players get injured unless they're on my roster. Then we can't have that. I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll understand. If you've already drafted, I hope you continue to listen to us, and keep up to date. And we'll keep you up on that waiver wire, things like that, those players to get you all the way to your championship because you don't win it in the draft, right? You win it throughout the season, watching, being diligent on that waiver wire and doing everything you do to advance your position. To get better, right? That's what you want to do. You want to grow every week. Just like in life, you want to do that in fantasy football. So, all right, Scott, that's all I got for us, man.
All right, man. So this has been another great episode of Punt Situation. We'll get back to you next week.
All right.